In today's episode, we'll show you the most common mistakes when working with acrylic. You'll find out what to avoid, not just to achieve perfect extensions, but also to speed up your work.
Hi, my name is Connie, and this is a channel dedicated to the art of nail styling. Today's episode is for our acrylo maniacs. We'll look at some of the most common mistakes while working with acrylic powder. Come on, let's take a look.
The products and tools we'll use in today's episode are monomer Take Your Time, monomer Nail Liquid, acrylic in Cover, Clear and Fashion White, liquid base, protein base, gel polish in Don't Get Crazy, acid-free primer, gel top coat shine on, brush cleaner, nail tweezers, purple forms, 100 to 180 buffer, 100 to 180 moonfall, a mixing tool, paper towels, lint-free pads, acrylic brush Indigo Acrylic Oval Brush No. 8, gel brush 2-in-1 No. 6, and a transparent dappen dish.
When it comes to acrylic, it's all about confidence of movements, knowledge of the technique, and knowledge of specialist products. Pretty obvious, right? Well, indeed, it's the combination of these three elements that makes working with acrylic effective and enjoyable. On the other hand, a lack of familiarity with these three elements can successfully put us off working with this medium entirely. And that's a shame because working with acrylic is a lot faster than working with its gel counterpart, as long as we know what we're doing, that is. Let's have a look at how to tame this technique.
First mistake: improper preparation of the brush. Prior to each use, an acrylic brush should be soaked well in a liquid monomer and de-aired. After dipping it in the liquid, press the bristles against the bottom of the dish a few times until all the air bubbles disappear. This process will prevent any air bubbles from forming in the acrylic mass, which is not only unsightly, but also affects the durability of the styling and can lead to air pockets on the nail plate. Mistake number 2 is too much monomer. An incorrect proportion of the acrylic powder to the monomer makes the resulting acrylic mass very liquidy. This can make it difficult to control the product during styling and make the polymerization happen at a higher temperature, making it uncomfortably hot for the client. Just trying to unfold a ball of such product ends up with a glued brush and a stylist's heartache. If the mass is soft and rubbery and there's not enough acrylic product in it to create a sufficiently stiff structure, there is a risk that, with such a ratio, the resulting nail will be too flexible, which can interfere with filing and make it difficult to maintain a proper tunnel and shape. Moreover, the acrylic can rub off in wear, and in the case of cover products, this can lead to smudges. Mistake number 3: too much acrylic powder. Disproportions in the other direction, on the other hand, can result in the formation of the so-called crystallization in the acrylic mass. It's visible in the form of frost crystals that precipitate on the surface of the nails. Unfortunately, this means the powder has not fully blended with the liquid. The resulting mass is very difficult to spread and way too hard, which makes it difficult to file later.
Trying to force spread the ball of product across the nail can seem successful. It looks like the nail is perfectly shaped, especially if we're working with a colored acrylic or a nude. But looking closer at a transparent mass, we can see a frosted section. This is the aforementioned crystallization, enclosed non-polymerized acrylic in the mass.
Even though the surface of the nail seems perfectly smooth, the crystallized part of the product can lead to air pockets and damage in the styling. Nails created from an improper ratio also tend to crumble at the free edge. Mistake number 4: working too slowly with the brush. Even if we pick up a perfect ball of product, nothing can protect us from the steady and continuous polymerization of the mass. It's therefore very important to work in a timely manner. We spread the ball without any panic, not too fast, but making sure we get it done before the mass solidifies on the nail. Mistake number 5: acrylic mass polymerizes too fast. It's very important to match the right monomer to our work pace and to the temperature of our surroundings. If the salon is quite warm and there is no air conditioning, high temperatures may speed up the hardening of the acrylic compound, even while we're working on it.
This can cause us unnecessary stress, completely unnecessary. It can be easily avoided by choosing a different monomer, the Take Your Time monomer. It's not called that for nothing. It's specially made for beginners or for when you need more time to work on a specific detail. For example, to pinch a perfect tunnel. This is exactly the element in which picking the correct product is crucial because the acrylic technique doesn't leave any room for random selections. We need to know exactly which product to choose.
It's equally important to choose the right monomer when our salon is quite cold, or for example, if in the winter, when it's hard to regulate and maintain higher temperatures. If you notice that when working with the Take Your Time monomer, the mass slides off the form, floods the cuticles, and you have to wait longer to remove the form or pinch the tunnel, know that the culprit might be the incorrectly matched monomer. Then it's worth reaching for a faster setting version, like the nail liquid, which will restore your fast pace and bring back control over the acrylic. Mistake number 6. Inaccurate brush cleaning. When working with acrylic, we dip the brush frequently in the liquid and drain it on a paper towel. This is mainly to regularly clean the bristles from an acrylic residue and supply additional monomer to the mass, allowing us to control the polymerization. Neglecting this element can cause the mass to solidify on the bristles and glue the brush together, making it impossible to continue working. To avoid this happening, the brush should be thoroughly cleaned in the monomer liquid during work and after the application is finished. Mistake number 7. A stiff brush. Hardened bristles lead not only to a huge heartache, but also to a long recovery process. For the brush, of course. We can salvage the situation by dissolving the hardened mass in the brush cleaner. We do it gently and in stages to avoid damaging the bristles mechanically. We stroke the bottom of the dish gently with the brush, making sure the tool is constantly in motion. We don't leave the brush pushed down in the dish till it saturates, but dip it in the liquid for a few seconds only. Then we pull off the dissolved, loosened acrylic using a clean paper towel. We repeat this action until all the bristles are clean. Remember to always soak the cleaned brush in some monomer and shape its bristles into a fine point. Brush cleaner cleans and grooms the bristles, which is why afterwards the brush is as soft as if it was conditioned. Mistake number 8. Dirty monomer. When working with acrylics, it's important to always clean the brush thoroughly before each dip into the dampened dish and monitor the cleanliness of the monomer. The monomer should be clear and see-through so that the immersed brush is always visible. If we notice it has changed color or consistency, we need to replace it. Working with dirty liquid prevents us from creating a proper product ball. It can alter the color of the mass and, most of all, lead to the hardening of the bristles. Mistake number 9. Pinching and filing too soon. If we decide to pinch the nails while working, we need to do this at the right moment so we don't damage the styling. We must ensure the product is semi-polymerized, which can be observed by seeing if the surface has gotten slightly dull or by tapping the surface with a tool, for example, the tweezers. If the nail emits a hollow sound, we know we can safely take off the form and gently pinch the tunnel. To check if the nail is ready for filing, it's worth tapping it with a tool again. If we hear a crisp sound, we can start filing. Mistake number 10. Surface preparation after filing. This is the most common and most serious error when working with acrylic. If after filing we choose to apply a gel polish, we must remember to properly prepare the surface for the application of color. Sometimes a small difference in systems and lesser compatibility of methods leads to the product lifting from the free edge. To avoid this, we mustn't wipe the surface with a cleaner. It's enough to thoroughly dust it off with a brush. To strengthen the bond between gel polish and acrylic, we can use several tricks. The first one is applying a small amount of acid-free primer onto the acrylic surface. This will make the surface sticky. The second is rubbing a thin layer of a base into the surface, for example, liquid base or protein base. We've used Indigo Gel Brush 2-in-1 No. 6 to do this. We apply the color once the base coat has been cured. The last method allowing to prepare an acrylic surface for applying a gel polish is covering it with the Shine On gel, which displays a very strong bond with acrylic. We need to cure it in the lamp for 60 seconds, then gently buff the entire surface. Thanks to this, even if we wipe the surface with a cleaner, the gel will adhere strongly to the nail.
This was the last of our acrylic mistakes, so it's time to end our episode. Do let us know in the comments below if you work with acrylic How many of us observing this channel know and use it every day? Or maybe you've never tried working with acrylic and this episode inspired you to give it a go. Do let us know in the comments below. Thanks for being here with me and see you next Wednesday. Bye.